of the day, Brother David Poos, President of Christian Brothers High School, invited by Councilman Spinoza. Brother Poos, please lead us in prayer.
Let us remember that we are in the holy presence of God. Good and loving God, we praise you and we thank you for bringing us safely to this moment. We thank you for the many blessings and gifts that have been so generously bestowed upon us, both individually and as the city of Memphis. Today we ask your blessings upon this council meeting. Give the council members wisdom and guidance as they deliberate on the items before them today. May their every decision be righteous and just in your sight, and for the benefit and good of the greater Memphis community. Accept the prayers we offer today for our beloved city. By the wisdom of our leaders and the integrity of our citizens, may harmony and justice be secured, and may there be lasting prosperity and peace. Continue to watch over us and guide us, protect us and keep us safe and free from injury and harm. May all that we do begin with God's inspiration, continue with his saving help, and one day reach completion in his kingdom. We make this prayer as we make all prayers through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Doc.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Spinoza, whenever you're making your way down there, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Brother David, thank you for coming down. Just going to read this for the record, sir. Greetings, be it hereby known that Brother David Poos, in recognition of a life of exemplary qualities, outstanding service to the city, meritorious involvement in humanitarian affairs, and demonstrated concern for governmental process, has been appointed chaplain of the day by the Memphis City Council and is hereby entitled to all of the honors, rights, and privileges and prerogative appertaining to the office and to display of this certificate. So thank you, my friend. I appreciate you for everything you do. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Madam Comptroller, you know.
Hi, happy May 7th. Here's your roll call. Canale?
Here.
Carlisle? Here. Cooper Sutton? Easter Thomas? Ford? Green? Logan? Spinoza? Swearingen, Washington?
Present.
Walker? Warren? White? Chairman Smiley.
I think I'm here. You're here as well.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
All right, thank you. I believe Vice Chairman Canale has read the minutes for our April 23rd, 2024 meeting. Vice Chairman Canale?
Yes, sir.
Hold up, let me get your mic on, my bad.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I have reviewed the meeting minutes from April 23rd, find them to be in order, and move for their adoption.
All right, moved by Vice Chairman Canale, seconded by Councilman Spinoza. Could you prepare the screen for a vote?
Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. Warren, yes. Please show Chairman Smiley is voting yes.
This item passes. Welcome to the May 7, 2024 regular meeting of the Memphis City Council. Meetings of the council shall be conducted in an orderly manner to ensure the public has the full opportunity to be heard and the deliberate process of the council is retained at all times. The Sergeant at Arms, Cedric, wave your hand so they can know who you are. The Sergeant at Arms has meeting agendas available up front, as well as comment request cards from members of the public wishing to be heard on a specific item. All those wishing to speak on an item must turn in their comment card to the Sergeant at Arms before the item is called. If you're not here to speak on a specific item, you can note your request to give general comment at the end of the meeting. As chair, I will only recognize the citizens that are properly registered to speak by submitting a completed comment request card to the Sergeant at Arms. Caveat, you must be a citizen of the city of Memphis. Members of the audience and persons addressing the council will not be permitted to engage in gossip, make defamatory, personal, slanderous, or profane comments, or use abusive or vulgar language. The chairperson of the council may maintain order by giving any persons who are in the violation of the stated rules of decorum a warning to cease any violence of conduct in order to leave the council chambers, or by giving an order for security personnel or Sergeant at Arms security personnel to remove any disruptive person in the council chambers who refuses to leave voluntarily. These rules are posted on the doors as you enter the chamber and as you pick up the comment cards. Item 6 will be held until July 9, 2024. Item 18 will be held until May 21st, 2024. Madam Comptroller, please call item number 1.
Item number 1 is a resolution honoring Almetria Turner for her contributions as a doula. This resolution is sponsored by Councilwoman Logan. It was held from April 23rd.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Councilwoman Logan, you are recognized. Where is Councilwoman? There go Councilwoman Logan.
Thank you, Chair. Wait on my colleague who is sponsoring with me. I wanted to just say that shaping our youth begins at birth. So shaping them into productive citizens begin at birth. And it's important, so therefore it's important to recognize and support those in the healthcare field, our healthcare advocates in the community that are providing those services to ensure that we have healthy moms and healthy childbirth. So today we will be honoring Ms. Almetria Turner, and I want to give space for my colleague to say anything about this process if you want to, or you just want to read. Okay. All right, so we'll start out by reading our resolution, Memphis City Council resolution. Whereas when worthy circumstances arise, the Memphis City Council has seen fit to honor citizens who have served the city of Memphis, and Almetria Turner is certainly befitting of this great honor. And whereas, as the nation commemorated Black Maternal Health Awareness Week as a collective call to action, and Almetria Turner, a dedicated full-spectrum doula, answered that call by tirelessly advocating for the health and empowerment of Black mothers and founding Roots and River Wellness Center.
Whereas research indicates that the presence of a doula on a mother's support team and during childbirth has been associated with reduced rates of maternal and infant mortality, reduced rates of medical interventions, decreased likelihood of cesarean sections, and improved maternal satisfaction with the birthing process. And whereas through your commitment to providing compassionate support, education, and advocacy during pregnancy, childbirth, and the postpartum period, Almetria Turner has positively impacted countless families and was selected by the state of Tennessee as one of 6 doulas across the state selected for the Doula Services Pilot Program.
Whereas Almetria Turner's work as a maternal and community health care advocate, thus her advocacy for the inclusion of a doula care as an essential component of maternal health care, underscores the importance of providing comprehensive and holistic support of expectant mothers. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Memphis City Council hereby celebrates and commends the contributions of Ametria Turner in maternal and community health care in the city of Memphis, adopted May 7, 2024, by Rhonda Logan, District 1, and Councilwoman Easter Thomas, District 7. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Speech. You'll share some words with us?
I just want to say thank you so much for acknowledging my work as far as in the Memphis community. I am very humbled and honored, considering that Shelby County and especially Memphis, we have the highest pregnancy-related and associated maternal and infant mortality rates out of all 95 counties in Tennessee. I am trying to help reduce those statistics by the work in which we're doing. And there are a lot of great doulas and midwives that are here in Memphis doing the grassroots work. We would appreciate it if the city of Memphis continued to support us in this work, not only as far as bringing awareness to the statistics, as well as funding, considering I know this is budget season. So hopefully, I've been watching, so hopefully y'all can slip in a couple of dollars for us as well to help reduce these statistics. Thank you so much again.
Thank you for your work. Thank you. Madam Comptroller, please call item number 2.
Item number 2 is a resolution pursuant to Chapter 9.6 of the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code approving a special use permit at the subject property located at 3545 South 3rd Street. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. It was held from April 9th. Our case number is SUP 23-26.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Vice Chairman Cannelli, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Comptroller, could you get it on the screen, please? Mr. Chairman, this item was heard in committee, did not receive a recommendation. It's been held 4 times. DPD is on hand if any council member wishes a refresher or another presentation, but with that, I move it to the floor.
Moved by Vice Chairman Cannelli, seconded by someone? Seconded by Espinoza. You may proceed. Can we get a mic on, or is that me? Try now. There we go.
I'm Alexis Longstreet with the DPD. I'll be doing a presentation today on SUP 2023-026. This is an application located in District 6, Super District 8, off of South 3rd Street. The request is for a towing service without an impound lot within the commercial mixed-use zoning district. Here's a location map and as well as a vicinity map. The vicinity map locates the property and then all of the nearby properties within a 500-foot radius of the subject property. 32 notices were mailed out on November 29th, 2023. Here is a copy of the public notice that was mailed out to those surrounding property owners as well as the site plan. And as well as here's the zoning map that shows you the surrounding zonings. This is CMU1 encompassed by like zonings of CMU3, CMU1, RU, residential, and just residential single-family zonings of different densities. The land use map designates this specific property for office space within the future land use map of City of Memphis 3.0. Here are some site photos of the property prior to the proposed site plan approval at Land Use Control Board. Here's a copy of the site plan here. As you can see, there is being a proposed fence. A fence is being proposed around the property. There's a ditch on the property. The fence may not encompass the ditch or go past or over the ditch, as well as there is a landscape buffer being implemented. If you looked on those site photos, there was a pre-existing concrete parking pad that was in the front of the property. That parking pad is to remain, but the fence is not to surpass the front facade of the primary structure and cannot exceed past the rear. This property was considered inconsistent by the Memphis 3.0 comprehensive planning team due to its density within the future land use designation of the property itself in the area. So some of the conclusions is from the staff analysis is that the applicant was seeking a special use permit to allow a towing service without an impound lot, meaning that no cars can be parked there. The current property is a primary location for more towing and recoveries. Employees in-houses the company tow trucks themselves, and I believe there are about 2 or 3 records that operate this business. The applicant did receive a citation for utilizing the property as a tow yard initially, in which this application is a result of. The applicant will be utilizing the proposed gravel lot to the rear of the property to park the company trucks within a proposed 8-foot fence. I will note that there are conditions attached to this approval from Land Use Control Board. So there's a friendly amendment I will mention as condition number 5 has been added to replace the existing condition 5 that you see here. The new condition 5 states the applicant will have 60 days from the approval of City Council to reconstruct the fence to meet the UDC standards and site conditions as approved by Land Use Control Board. And with that being said, the applicant must meet these conditions as well as basically execute the site as approved here as the site plan that is provided in the presentation. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Councilwoman White, you're recognized.
Can you all hear me? Is the applicant here?
The applicant is present today. I'm more good.
Am I out of order? Am I out of order? Oh. Well, first question for you. You said that this plan was inconsistent with the 3.0 plan?
Yes, it was deemed inconsistent by our comprehensive planning office.
Okay. Well, my question was, it says allow towing service without an impound lot, and I'm trying to understand what that means.
So the applicant will be able to park his records, so his essential operation equipment for his towing service, but he's not allowed to tow any vehicles there, whether that is vehicles waiting repair, whether that is vehicles that were towed from different sites, as he has another location where he does that it is a permitted use it for.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. It appears that all hearts and minds clear. Would you like to say something?
No, I don't.
All right. We'll go to Councilman Ford. And Councilman Ford, is your district. You have anything to say? I think I know what this answer is going to be. Or you don't want to say nothing, you just want the council to take action? All right. I kind of know where this is going. Madam Comptroller, all hearts and minds are clear? Prepare the screen.
Canale, no. Cooper Sutton, no. Easter Thomas, no. Ford, no. Green, no. Logan, no. Spinoza, no. Swearingen, Washington, no. Walker, abstained. White, no. Warren, no. Chairman Smiley, no.
All right, this item fails. Madam Comptroller, could you please call item number 3?
Item number 3 is a resolution pursuant to Chapter 9.6 of the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code, approving a special use permit at the subject property located at 2491 Joy Lane. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. It was held from April 23rd. The case number is SUP 23-28.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller.
You're welcome, Mr. Chairman.
Vice Chairman Canale, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This item has been heard in committee. It's been held 3 times. They were here at the last council meeting, and council members posed some questions to a representative from the applicant. Who's here representing the applicant today?
You're kind of far back there. You know, sometimes I get a trigger finger and decide to move things a little quick.
With that, Mr. Chairman, I move to the floor. DPD is also on hand if they have any questions of them as well.
All right, thank you. Moved by Vice Chairman Canale, seconded by Councilman Espinoza. DPD, the floor is yours for presentation.
Good afternoon. This is Masano Satnia with DPD. The case number is SUP 2023-028. The applicant is Esmeralda Apartments, and it is located in 2491 Joy Lane. The request is a conversion of an existing abandoned social services facility into 80 studio. Yes? They don't? Okay. All right.
Okay. Vice Chairman Canale said, we've been here, done that, heard that before. Applicant, give you an opportunity to say a few words.
Okay, Barry Jones, 1500 Union Avenue, architect for the project. We have had discussions. Unfortunately, none of the ownership, except Maria Hernandez here next to me, who's one of the executive managers of the firm. But they did send a letter, and they have agreed to restrict all lease terms to a minimum of 6 months, and they hope to get 1-year leases. So I think Councilman Carlisle's concerns last meeting were that there were going to be, short-term, overnight, or more transitional housing. And I think this letter will confirm that that's not the intent of the property. The property is to be long-term rental, good tenants, vetted properly, and that's really where we are today. And we're willing to put that into the approval as a condition, and also augment that with the letter from management and for the property.
Thank you for the presentation. Since it's District 4, where Councilwoman Swearinger Washington says they get more, we're gonna go to Councilwoman Swearinger Washington.
We thank you for your flexibility and for your cooperation. And we are having high expectations with this development. It has been abandoned for years. So we're thankful to have something positive in that area with affordable housing, and we look forward to working with you. And please know that the Neighborhood Association will be looking and partnering with you. So we appreciate your excellence in advance.
All right, amen to excellence. We have one comment card. It's our friend, Ms. Miller. Come on down.
One question, and if they change it, we would make it like a condition for you all to come back.
If they change it itself?
If it changes. If it tries to change into a hotel or something else, we would like to have it where they would have to come back to city council.
John Zena, you knew we were looking for you, Director.
John Zena, Planning and Development. A hotel would only be allowed by special use permit anyway, so they would have to come back if they were going to do that.
Perfect.
While we're on the topic of conditions, I would suggest that we add the condition that Mr. Jones mentioned, that the minimum lease term be set at 6 months.
Okay. Can we please add that? The minimum would be at least 6 months. That would be a condition that we're willing to add. Okay?
So it seems there's a motion by Councilwoman Swearinger that a minimum of 6 month lease. It doesn't appear to be any objections to her motion. All right, there's no objection to her motion. So, all right. So moved by Councilwoman Swearinger White, seconded by Councilwoman Logan. Doesn't appear to be any objections. All right, so we'll consider that we're gonna move it as amended. Now, we have a comment card, but we also have a council member willing to speak. Councilwoman Cooper Sutton, the floor is yours. And Councilman Carlisle, I know you hear me. We're looking for you. Go.
Thank you, Chair. Who are the owners? Are they local, or this is, who's owning this property? I think I missed something. And because Councilman
Chase Carlisle, he had a lot of questions and was concerned about a lot of things. And so who are the property owners? And is this local or is this out of state?
My name is Maria Hernandez, and I live on 1747 Morley Street. And the owners, they're in another state in Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio.
Who would be representing them here in Memphis? Who will we be able to contact if there's an issue, the renters have an issue, have some concerns? We have seen this over and over and over again. Of course, we want affordable housing. We want something decent. But what happens when the renters and the tenants need someone? And we're seeing what's happening around this city now. So who are they going to contact?
Is there a property management company that you all be utilizing in town?
Not local, but they're in Cleveland, Ohio. And
No.
they will be a contact number to reach corporation. Also, they do visit monthly, and I'll be in charge of anything to provide anything to them, all the information to any tenants, any complaint, anything that there's in the building.
Hold on.
Let me clarify.
Can I finish, please?
I'm
Can
sorry.
I finish?
Let
me finish.
Okay,
Can
sure.
I finish, please? Thank you. If I'm not mistaken, I thought you were the one that was here local and was going to.
Yes, yes, ma'am, I live here.
Either
in
you
Memphis.
are or you aren't, because you just
Yes.
said that you weren't. So where do you live?
I live here.
So you're the management company?
Yes.
So there's a management facility, an office, and all of that you are going to run?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. I misunderstood the question.
Where is the location?
1747 Morley Street. Morley Street.
Okay, so that's an office?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna come by, and I wanna see the function and how it operates. Because once again, we are doing this again to our city and to our people and to our tenants and to our constituents. We're letting someone outside in California, way in California, develop Ohio. I don't know, I wanna go to Cali and I'm going. In Ohio, come here and we get stuck like Chuck again, with no kind of resolve and no kind of help or assistance. And then guess what happens? We end up coming back and the city council have to fight and fight. And I understand, my colleague, we all want that. But what we don't want is what we've seen in the past. Do you know what's happening here in Memphis? Are you aware of what's happening here in Memphis? Do you know who it's happening to? Do you understand? What's happening? We cannot continue, and I think that is what my colleague was saying. We cannot continue to keep warming the same soup over using the same spoon, because we will get the same results. And so how will we know? Who are these people? Who are they? Who are they?
Can I interject?
You sure may now.
Okay, thank you. The staff here is all direct employees of the company out of Cleveland. So they're not, it's not a hired management company. So there's no fear of them being fired or anything like that. These folks are actually committed to their company and doing a good job. I mean, they already have other properties in town, so the likelihood of them going anywhere is very low. They have people here. I've met with them. They handle much of the paperwork for our work that I'm doing with them, and it's been very professional group out of Ohio. So, but these folks here are direct employees.
I've been with the company since 2011, and I've been here in Memphis for 4 years with the same. I moved from Texas, and they moved me here when they sell the property from over there. But after, it's been a pleasure to work for this company for so long.
If I'm not mistaken, I just want to make sure that I hear you. So there are other properties here in Memphis that this company owns. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. That's correct. Yes.
Where are they?
Where are the two? Morley and I'm not sure where the other one is.
Zip codes.
38111 and 38118.
38111 and 38118. What's the name of the company again?
Allstate Management.
You got it, Councilwoman White.
That's correct.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Any other council members wishing to speak? All right, appears that all hearts and minds are clear. Oh, we have one comment card. I'm sorry, Ms. Miller. Thank you all. We can have a comment card, then the council will prepare to work. Ms. Miller, come on down. You've been back. This is your third meeting in a row. We're going to put your name on the seat.
You should, actually.
All right, the floor is yours.
Yes, my name is Tara Miller, 3551 Kearney Street in the lovely 38127. A licensed master social worker. Very saddened to hear that we are here having this conversation again, thinking about approving this, knowing that this used to be a transitional housing unit for at-risk youth, knowing that we have so many at-risk youth here. I just don't think it's appropriate to be changing this into housing long-term that's not gonna, cater to our youth. We're willing to spend so much money towards the juvenile court system and, clogging that school to prison pipeline, but we really need to be working on things like this, housing for the youth. I don't know if y'all recall that quote that I said from one of our people in the city saying that these kids don't have home training because they don't have homes, and that is so true. The kids not having homes and the kids not having all these other socioeconomic factors that play into the part of this crime and this poverty is a big issue, and we really need to be tackling this. And I would just be very disheartened to see this former at-risk youth facility be transitioned into studio housing that is just playing into a part of this gentrification that is doing a number to our city. So that's all I have to say about that at the moment.
So I have a question for you, Ms. Miller. So would you prefer the council to leave it blighted? How long, do you know how long it's been vacant?
I think that it would be a good idea to, instead of using that money to a studio apartment, to use that money to do what it was already doing, a transitional facility, finding some way to renovate that.
Okay, so
putting the money into the youth.
To help clarify, it's not the city dollars that are being used. It's private dollars that are being used. All we're doing is allowing them to operate in this capacity. If the council votes no, it continues to stay blighted. And go back again, this is not city dollars or city resources being used to develop this property. So the only question before this council is, does this property stay blighted, or do we allow it to be put to good use?
I think that if it's been blighted for quite some time, then I don't think it would hurt letting it sit blighted until we can find a way to put it towards good use. I'm not saying that, the housing ain't good use, but knowing that we have so many at-risk youth and knowing that they are the good bulk of the people that are committing the crime around the city, we're gonna have to do what we're gonna have to do, but I just don't see this being productive towards that issue.
All right, thank you, Ms. Miller. Thank you for consistently coming down and being a part of what makes our city beautiful. Someone told me to gavel, but seriously, if you like what she says, give us a thumbs up. If you disapprove of what's being said or what's being done, give us a thumbs down. We cool? All right. I'm gonna go to Councilwoman. Oh, there's a lot of council members in the queue, or did I not take you out? Councilwoman Cooper Sutton, are you in the queue? So we move you from the queue. You're in the queue twice. Wow. Councilwoman White, you still in the queue? Councilwoman White, then I'm gonna go to Councilwoman Swearingen Washington, then we're gonna go to a vote, y'all. Councilwoman White.
So thank you, Councilwoman Cooper Sutton, for your questions, because it sparked a few of my own, and I know Councilman Carlisle mentioned it before. And my only concern is when I looked up, for instance, Allstate Management, I can't find anything on the Secretary of State, which requires that you do have a registered agent in the state of Tennessee. But my concern is that we know that in terms of public safety and turning things around, and I'm sorry, what was your name? To Ms. Miller's point, of course, we can't control specifically what goes there. We control the use of it. My concern is that when we look at public safety from a bigger lens, one of the issues that we don't talk about often enough is these unkept apartment complexes and multi-unit places where we do have so many illegal activities going on that just kind of go under the radar. And a lot of these complexes are breeding grounds for violence and for criminal activity. because we don't have local property managers or people that are keeping up these properties and making sure that they're safe. So affordable living is one thing, but it also should be safe. And so I say that to say, I would like a little more time to look up to get a little bit more information from the owners and about the owners. I think it is good. I think it's always wonderful when we're changing a place, a blighted area, and making it something useful. And I'm a huge advocate for affordable housing. I just don't want us to make a decision that ends up being counterproductive to our goal of overall public safety.
Thank you, Councilwoman White. Any other council members in the queue before I go to Councilwoman Swearingen Washington? All right, Councilwoman Swearingen Washington, the floor is yours.
I would just like to say I appreciate the concern. I live in this community, and I know how ridiculous that area has looked for years, practically abandoned, and people are not standing in line to invest in this area. We do have a company that's willing to do that. We have a code department that can monitor, and we do have some things in place that can monitor, but I'm on board with this, and I'm asking my colleagues to go ahead and vote. We have held it once, and we want to go ahead and move forward so that we can bring some light to that ridiculous area of the community that's off of Airways, going very close to the airport. Thank you.
All right. Okay, all right. So next time, when we know I'm closing, I'm just gonna go ahead and take a vote because I was getting ready to take a vote. So this time I'm gonna honor the members who are in the queue, but next time I'm gonna go ahead when we get ready to close. Councilwoman Cooper Sutton and Councilwoman Lisa Thomas, and I'm gonna still go back to Councilwoman Swearingen to close. Councilwoman Cooper Sutton. Hold up. You've been in the queue once. We're gonna come back to you.
Okay,
Councilwoman Lisa
that's
Thomas
fine.
has not been in the queue. Councilwoman Lisa Thomas. Hold up, get your mic. Councilwoman Lisa Thomas.
Thank you. And I didn't try to go after your close, Swearingen Washington. That was a good close. I just needed a point of clarification. Does this include when we talked about no short-term rentals? Is that still included in this?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay.
Absolutely.
That's all I need to make sure.
Good point of clarification. Councilwoman Lisa Thomas, I'll remove you from the queue. And Councilman Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was going to call the question, but I hesitate until after Cooper Sutton speaks. Thank you.
All right, Cooper Sutton.
Thank you, Chair. And this will be my last time. And we know what code looks like right now, and it's not sufficient to do what it needs to do. Hopefully, down the road, it will be more upgraded and more ready and more sufficient to what our needs are here in Memphis. We are already backlogged with code, with all this that we're seeing that's going on. And what turns out to be is my colleague, and I understand my colleague have looked it up. We've tried to look it up. We can't find anything on this. There's nothing on this. Can't find anything on this company, and maybe we're just overlooking it.
Could I have the applicant come back to the podium? And the word for the day is brevity going forward.
I just don't want a slumlord. We just don't want to end up and end up down the road regretting what we've already dealing with now.
The website's a little difficult to find. I think it's Allstate.
All-state property management.
It's management's plural. And it's a very nice website. I've seen it. It's very well done.
Mr. Eason for the rescue. So glad we
Page
have
does not exist.
Right here. You got it.
Dr. Warren got it.
That's it right there. Allstate Property Management website. Cleveland, Ohio.
All right. Is that all from you, Councilwoman Cooper Sutton? That's it from Cooper?
I yield the floor. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Councilwoman White. For the second time.
I would like to make a friendly amendment.
Go ahead.
We requested that, what I would like to request is that there be a company named and that company be required to be registered with the state of Tennessee, which would require a registered agent for point of contact. Because as of right now, I just spoke with Mr. Zena, and there's no company. It's just Esmeralda Apartments. And so that means that we have no point of contact. If there are any issues, we just have a DBA of a person.
I got you. So we have a motion by Councilwoman White, seconded by Dr. Warren. We'll go to Zena and Attorney Wade. Zena, can we do that? Is it something that we have discretion to do? Essentially, what
John Zena, Planning Development. If I heard correctly, Councilwoman White, you want
them to
applicant to register the company name that is the property owner and the company name and local contact responsible for property management before a building permit is issued.
Well, and maybe I should be a little bit clearer. Yes. So my point is, in order for them to be able to do business in the state of Tennessee, they're required to register with the Secretary of State.
That's right.
When I looked up that name, they're not registered with the Secretary of State. And the purpose of being required to register with the Secretary of State is that if you're doing business in Tennessee and we need to serve you process, we need to have a registered agent. And in this instance, we don't know who Esmeralda Apartments is. And so what I'm asking is that, can we require that they actually register their company, it's the law. Can they register their company with the state of Tennessee and name a registered agent?
Councilwoman, so compliance with other state laws obviously is something that any owner would be required to do. We don't enforce laws outside of what we have the authority to, but given that this special use permit is the first step to ultimately our division issuing a building permit for the company to be able to do the work that they need to do to open and lease the apartments. I think what we could do is similar to what I just spelled out, that prior to issuance of a building permit, the property owner should register the property owner's name and address, as well as the local management company's name, address, and local agent with DPD prior to the building permit being issued. So if that satisfies your concern, we can take that information, certainly add it into the conditions, but also take that information once it's registered, and we'll just have that on file as a part of the case file once the building permit does get issued.
So are you satisfied with the director who plays an attorney on TV, Zena?
I am. Thank you, Director Zena.
Are we good with what he's?
I am, as long as our council says it's okay.
All right, Director. All right, appears that all hearts and minds are clear. Councilwoman Swearingen Washington, you want to say anything else? We good. All right, Madam Comptroller, you know what to do. This is as amended.
Canali, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. White, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Smiley, yes.
Walker, yes.
Please show Councilmember Walker as voting yes.
Madam Comptroller, this item passes. Could you please call item number 4?
Item number 4 is a resolution pursuant to Chapter 9.6 of the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code approving a special use permit at the subject property located at 391 Western Park Drive. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. It was held from April 9th. The case number is 23-36.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Vice Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This item was heard in committee, has been held 4 times subsequently after that. We do have a couple of comment cards. We did not have a recommendation on this item, but I will move to the floor. And
Moved by
DPD's
Vice
on
Chairman,
hand.
seconded by Councilman Espinoza. Let's move to the floor.
Calling Doc.
I'm Alexis Longstreet. I'll be giving a presentation on application SUP 2023-036. This property is located at District 6, Super District 8, Western Park in the Westwood area. This request is a convenience store with gas sales in the CMU 3 district. As you all can see here, here's a location map as well as the vicinity map. There's 29 notices were mailed on December 21st, 2023. The zoning for this property, as stated earlier, is CMU 3, encompassed by other commercial uses as well as some residential uses and institutional uses. Here is the property site photos. As you can see here, there is a pre-existing structure in which the applicant will be basically revitalizing and updating. The specific property does abut another commercial use where there has been proposed landscaping and screening as well. And this is the previous site plan that was presented, as there has been a new site plan that was sent over as well as looked at and approved with recommendations and revised from City Council, from committee, that there will be 3 EV chargers stationed at this property as well as solar panels placed along the primary structure of the convenience store, as well as the landscaping plan here. This property was deemed consistent in the Memphis 3.0 analysis as the primary use for this the proposed use for this primary structure is in keeping with the future land use designated by comprehensive planning. This application was approved at Land Use Control Board, and these are the previous conditions. There have been friendly amendments to the conditions, adding a total of 4 new conditions. Replacing the previous number 5, there have been the new number 5, 5th condition has been the landscaping plan is included in the application shall be executed based on approval of the governing boards. A minimum of 3 level 3 DC fast charging stations shall be installed on the site. Solar panels will be installed on the site roof. If any standards of the city's properties maintenance code are violated, the Memphis City Council may revoke the special use permit at any time, and the applicant shall provide the Division of Planning and Development with the intended gas station brand prior to issuance of a certificate of occupancy. Any change in gas station brand must be processed as a major mod to the special use permit and subject to approval by the Memphis City Council. With that major mod, they will have to go back before the Land Use Control Board and come back before you all. This concludes my presentation.
Such a great job. I think you do better than an attorney who plays an attorney on TV. Councilman Dr. Warren.
I'm afraid I didn't hear. How many electrical charging stations are there?
3.
3. Thank you.
Okay, it appears that, no. It's District 6. We have a fine representative in District 6.
The Undertaker from District 6.
Councilman Ford, the floor is yours, sir. Is that?
A lot of people may be angry with me right now. But I'm going to, not the council this time, okay? Yeah. Is it on? Okay. This is my district, 3rd Street. There's going to be a lot of development coming on 3rd Street because we're looking at the southwest twin. This I have no problem with this particular station. A lot of people do. A lot of people in Westwood. I'm really trying to see if we can hold it a little while longer, try to get some things done. This used to be a service station. Nothing wrong with it. It's supposed to be a BP service station. Okay? There's other service stations down the street. I'm not for those. Okay? And I really would like for Westwood, Indian Hills is there also to just really try to get together and work this out, because, hey, it's going to be a very nice BP. It's going to have charging stations for, electric cars, everything else. Okay? And if we can't, I still like to hold it. 2 weeks is fine, but I like to hold until after the budget. Thank you.
So I want to clarify the motion. He said 2 weeks is fine, but he would like to hold it after budget. So I'm going to take that to mean there's a motion to hold this until the first meeting after budget. Where is Ms. Hyman or Brianna or Allen? Where's the first meeting after budget? I can't hear. Oh, there go Ms. Hyman in the audience by Chief Adams. Hello, Ms. Hyman. July 7th? July 9th? Oh, she was loud and wrong. All right, so there's a motion to hold this until July 9th. Moved by Councilman Ford, seconded by Councilman Espinoza. Before we get to the hold, we have 2 comment cards. I believe Vice Chairman Canale hand me these comment cards because the handwriting is great. But I do know one of the people, Ms. Pearson. I don't know where you are. There you go. I didn't see you. Ms. Pearson? You know what to do. You've been here for a time or two. Always good to see you.
Likewise. Good afternoon, new board. Good to see you guys.
Hate to cut you off. Name and address for the record.
All right. Kimberly Owens Pearson, 1110 Starline, Memphis, Tennessee, 38109. So first and foremost, this is ridiculous. Ridiculous. We have 7 gas stations. 7. This is ridiculous because it can be something else. There is a marathon on Rains and Horn Lake that was just approved, that was just open, and now it's abandoned. Here we are on 3rd Street looking like a junkyard. All this development and building on Elvis Presley. And here we go. We got police cars as a darn waste yard. We got another man asking for tow trucks, record services. Then down at Weaver and 3rd Street, we got another junkyard. What is going on? That we keep getting approval in Westwood, 38109, for junk, gas. As my son always tell you, 17 toxic facilities surround us. This makes no sense. Why can't we have walking trails? Why can't we have nice flowers, buildings, restaurants, and nice things? I'm Southwest Twin, let's see. I'm waiting. We still got a darn abandoned where they sell clothes and stuff, these old buildings. Clean up 3rd Street. Westwood been my home, and I'm sick of everybody getting approval to bring junk in our neighborhood. Like we haven't paid for our homes. Like we don't want to see nice things and have nice things. This is ridiculous. This shouldn't even be before. And they don't live in our community. They build, they make the money, and they take the money. We haven't asked anybody to do a darn thing in our neighborhood. They don't give back. And they ride off and go into their nice neighborhoods with their community and not inhale all this hell. I'm tired.
There we go. All right. Ms. Pearson, it's always good to see you. I saw your husband this morning. I know how it works. You have council members in the queue now. There's another comment card. My apologies. Ms. Hughes, you look eager. Good to see you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm
Name and
Ola
address for the record,
Hughes.
then the floor is yours.
I am Ola Hughes, 4323 Hawkeye Street, Memphis, Tennessee, 38109. I'm the president of Westwood Neighborhood Association.
You getting the record.
And we in Westwood are here today standing together to oppose the special use permit to open another gas convenience store in our community. There are 7 gas community stores located in our community within a 2-mile radius. 7 within a 2-mile radius. These gas service stations do not give back to the community, not to our community. We live in the community. We see what goes on in the community. These 372 persons that have signed this petition should have a right to say what we want and don't want in our neighborhood. We are asking the City Council to reject this request from the Bray firm to place this station at 391 Western Park. And also there's one coming later at 4471 Western, South 3rd Street. And we thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for coming and expressing your concerns and thoughts regarding what's happening in Westwood. We appreciate your participation and your concerns. We have 2 council members in the queue, Councilwoman Cooper Sutton, followed by Councilwoman Logan. I will allow the single member rep to close us out and before we take any action. Councilwoman Cooper Sutton.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you for all of your comments. I was at the last meeting that was held, and I went over to the gas station myself. Me and Mr. Breyer, he followed me over there because I wanted to see. I needed to see. I know we've been talking about it, but I needed to actually see. I know Southwest is, the Twins is down the street, and hopefully that development would happen. But my question to the community, and I don't need a quick answer. I want you all to get together and think about what you would like to see and what you would like to have there. And maybe the community invest in it and get the property yourselves and we work something out. I heard you say you wanted something beautiful there, something nice, something pleasant, and it's a high traffic area. It's in and out traffic. But I would like for you all to get together as a community and decide what you really want. Because we know one thing, you sure don't want a gas station because you got 7 already. But however, we need to come up with a plan and a strategy. What are you wanting in your community and what you want it to look like? You all have a say-so in it. You are property owners. Your value, you know what you want it to look like. So propose a plan. Let's see what we can come up with. And like my colleague, Councilman Ford said, we'll come back out the budget season and see what happens. Sounds good? Thank you. I yield the floor.
Councilwoman Cooper said?
Yes, sir.
All right. I dig that. Yeah. Councilwoman Logan. Hold up, let me get your mic on. Sorry.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. And I just want to say I appreciate the young lady coming down and advocating for the community. About a year or 2 ago, we did the same thing. We put a 120-day moratorium on gas stations because we receive information on the national average of how many gas stations per people should be in an area, and Memphis was above that number. And so working with, and this is Councilwoman Cooper Sutton said is a great thing for you to do as a community. And wanted to share that as you imagine what you want your community to be, we're getting ready to have phase 2 of Memphis 3.0, which is going to be going to each community and discussing what you want your community to look like. Other municipalities, they have codes and zones, and they have ordinances written in their law to determine what their communities look like. And private development comes in, and they can only abide by those guidelines. And so the laws are the ordinances are what's going to kind of determine what that looks like in your community. So when they start those community meetings, make sure everyone is a part of that and that you all have a plan and you're engaged, because that's how we make a change in our communities. And as she said, come together and consider investing and getting those properties, because private development is what brings development to your communities. The Memphis, we wouldn't pay for a restaurant. We would approve the use of the buildings. And so you all determining that and advocating and having a advocacy group on your behalf working for those developments to come in is gonna be what's there. But I appreciate it and respect and thank you for sharing that and for saying that and putting it out there and putting on record so the community as a whole can come together, because that's how we're gonna do it. So I appreciate that and continue to do so. Thank you. I yield back, Chair. Thank you, Councilwoman Logan. All right, there was a motion to hold this item until July 9th. Are we all in agreement? There's no objection? All right. Consider this item held until July 9th. Madam Comptroller, please call item number 5. Your mic? Oh.
Item number 5 is a joint zoning ordinance amending the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code as adopted by the City of Memphis on August 10th, 2010, and by Shelby County on August 9th, 2010, to revise and enhance the joint zoning and subdivision regulations by revising provisions regarding solar energy systems. Up for third and final reading, this ordinance is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. The case number is ZTA 24-01. The ordinance number is 5898.
Excellent job, Madam Comptroller. Councilman Vice Chairman Kennelly, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This item has not been heard in committee, so it was not sent down without presentation, without recommendation. This is a joint ordinance. There were some amendments made at the commission. I'll let Director Zena go through that. And we do have 4 comment cards. With that, Mr. Chairman, I move it to the floor.
All right, moved by Vice Chairman Kennelly, seconded by Councilwoman Swearingen Washington. Director Zena, the floor is yours.
Thank you, council members. John Zena, Division of Planning and Development. This item is a joint text amendment to the Unified Development Code. It, unlike other text amendments that we bring to you, this one deals with one specific topic, and that is solar energy systems. The background on this, the zoning text amendment originated in September when the Shelby County Commission passed a moratorium on large-scale solar farms in the conservation agriculture districts of unincorporated Shelby County. Currently, the Unified Development Code allows, first of all, the current code defines solar farm as any panels greater than 100 square feet in size. And in addition to that, the current code allows solar farms in many zoning districts, including the Conservation Agriculture District, which is mainly found in rural unincorporated Shelby County, but there are areas within the city of Memphis that are conservation agriculture. solar farms are allowed in those districts by right currently. So the Shelby County Commission's interest was to put a moratorium temporarily on those developments during a period whereby the issue could be reviewed by Division of Development and Division of Planning and Development, and recommendations could be provided to the Commission and to the Council regarding potential amendments to the Unified Development Code. We conducted a study. We delivered the results of that study to the Commission in December, and then followed that up with this proposed zoning text amendment. As Councilman Canale mentioned, there have been some modifications that I will address at the end. Generally, with respect to the study that our staff produced, we found that utility scale solar, which really what we're talking about here is the larger scale solar projects, generally have a positive economic and environmental impact at the countywide and local scale. Obviously, the environmental benefits from the production of clean energy not only have a positive environmental impact, but also, particularly when we're talking about the development of utility scale solar in agricultural areas, the tax benefit to the county as well as any cities where they're located is much greater than, say, other uses like agriculture. However, as I mentioned, our Unified Development Code standards that essentially defines any solar farm at 100 square feet or greater as the same thing, we believe is a little outdated, particularly with the way the industry has changed. And so one of the main changes that you'll see in this text amendment is to put some definition to community scale solar, utility scale solar, and then also accessory solar, where a business or a building would use solar just to power its facility as an accessory use. There are some existing standards in the code that we are maintaining under the proposal. Barbed wire fencing remains prohibited for solar facilities outside of industrial districts. Building-mounted arrays, which you typically will see on rooftop, are permitted as accessory uses in all districts. Solar facilities will remain as by right uses in industrial districts, our EMP, warehouse, and heavy industrial. Ground-mounted arrays are prohibited in front yards, and then also the code states that unused solar equipment must be removed within 1 year, and that is also remained. So there are three key changes in addition to the definition between community scale solar as a project under 20 acres and utility scale solar, a project 20 acres and greater. One of the biggest changes is that the zoning text amendment requires a special use permit for utility scale systems 20 acres and greater in the Conservation Agriculture District. We're also enhancing the setback requirements for particularly utility scale systems abutting residential uses, and then also clarifying and improving some of the landscaping requirements. And then we're also borrowing from the state's law relative to decommissioning, which is essentially the process by which abandoned facilities, abandoned panels are decommissioned. We're borrowing those requirements for all systems larger than 10 megawatts. Right now, the state law applies to any property that is leased by a solar developer or operator for that use. And so in the zoning text amendment, these decommissioning requirements would apply if the property is owned or leased by the solar developer or operator. So relative to the special use permit, all new utility scale solar projects, again, that's in excess of 20 acres, would have to come before the governing body of whatever jurisdiction it's in. So if it's within the city of Memphis, it would come before the city council. If it's in the unincorporated county, it'd come before the Shelby County Commission. Unless that project's in the industrial districts where it remains by right, as noted a moment ago. There would be, of course, a review like any other special use permit where it goes to the Land Use Control Board first before coming to the governing body. All three review stages, of course, have opportunities for public feedback. The Land Use Control Board and the governing body would both have public hearings. Applicants must hold, of course, a neighborhood meeting consistent with any other special use permit, be required to post signs on the property. We would issue mailed notice, and then, of course, there would be mailed notice prior to the hearings. The second key change has to do with the setbacks and landscaping. Utility scale systems would have minimum setback requirements of 100 feet outside of industrial districts, 50 feet within industrial districts. Utility scale systems would also have a minimum of 600 foot setback from residential dwellings in the Conservation Agriculture District. This is a pending amendment that I'll address at the end. And then there also would be requirements for buffers between the utility scale systems. And then, of course, these are the buffers that are found in the Unified Development Code that will be applied. And then finally, the decommissioning change, as I mentioned a moment ago, we're essentially borrowing the language in the state law and applying it to properties that are owned, not just leased, by solar developers and operators. Some other proposed changes, I mentioned the split between community and utility scale solar. The maximum accessory solar energy system becomes 20 acres. I mentioned the landscaping requirements. There are no distance requirements between systems, and again, that also has to do with a pending amendment that I'll address at the end. And then we are also, with a pending amendment, limiting the individual project size at 1 square mile. DPD is recommending approval, and on February 8th, the Land Use Control Board voted to recommend approval, and then also last evening, the Shelby County Commission approved this with the amendments on their third and final reading. So the amendments that will need to be adopted in utility scale systems would have a minimum setback requirement from residential dwellings in the Conservation Agriculture District. This amendment strikes any requirement related to distance between systems and limits individual project size at 1 square mile. And so your staff and the comptroller have a copy of the amended ordinance with these changes, but these will need to be amended so that they match what the county commission approved. I'm available for any questions.
That was a lot. We have one council member in the queue. I think there are some folks in the audience who were here for that particular item. If you're here for that particular item, could you raise your hand? Just want to know how many people are here for this item. So only one person here for this item? No, there's 4. There's 4 people here for this item? Okay, so there's how many people are here for this particular item? Could you raise your hands? All right, just because I'm inquisitive. How many people are here who are residents of Memphis? Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. All right, so Councilman Warren, you're in the queue, followed by Councilman Walker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm sure, like most of you, when you're reading through your packet over the weekend and you came to this, it was like, holy moly, what is this? And so I called Mr. Zena and talked to him about it and talked to people from the Sierra Club. And what I wanted to make sure is this is not going to affect people who are putting solar panels on their homes. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so people who want to have a solar panel on their home or get additional solar power, that's not going to be an issue. It's not going to affect businesses that want solar panels on their roofs or behind their business to supplement their electricity?
That's correct. Actually, the only way that it does affect it is to expand how much they would be able to do as an allowed accessory. So this would give them more permission in those instances.
More permission. And I checked, and it seemed like this was not going to hinder MLGW's ability to potentially develop extra solar power for our community as we move forward, trying to become greener. So I think this is a good thing, and I really appreciate the amendments that you put in that made it workable for everyone. So I would urge my colleagues to back this. Thank you.
All right, there is a Councilwoman Walker. The floor is yours, ma'am. Hold up, is your mic on? Nope. Try now. Hit it. Hit the.
It's already green.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to make sure on my screen. Hit again. Okay, we're ready.
Thank you. I had a couple of questions. So in an earlier slide, it said something about the barbed wire. So what's being used in what's allowable instead of the barbed wire?
The buffers that are identified within the Unified Development Code would be required to be used. So there are class 1, 2, and 3 buffers that mix types of fencing and shrubbery and trees. And so there would be the options for walls, site-proof fence, and chain link fence as types of fencing through those buffer types.
Okay, thank you for that. And also, it said something about being required to hold a neighborhood meeting. Will there be a minimum number of community members required to connect with to move forward with a project like this? It just said community meeting.
That's correct. So the neighborhood meeting requirement that's associated with special use permits would be required only in the instances where a special use permit is now must now be obtained to allow one of these projects. So maybe more specifically in the Conservation Agriculture District, a utility scale project must obtain a special use permit. One of the first steps in obtaining a special use permit is holding a neighborhood meeting. There are requirements with respect to the amount of notice that goes out for the neighborhood meeting. Not necessarily a number of participants required at the meeting, but there are a minimum number of notices that must go out. So it's measured on a radius around the project site of 500 feet. But then particularly in areas where there's larger parcels and you hit fewer residents when you go 500 feet out, there is a minimum threshold that's standard in the Unified Development Code for any neighborhood meeting notice. I believe it's that minimum threshold is 25. But as I said, it would simply follow what is the required standard in the Unified Development Code.
Okay, thank you for that. My concern is that so many times, so many meetings, and so many citizens say that they didn't know about it. They didn't know about the meeting. And hopefully moving forward with this, if when there are meetings, the citizens have been notified timely and can come out and participate if they choose to. So with that being said, thank you for answering my questions. I think that this is great. I appreciate any opportunity that we have to move forward with a sustainability agenda. And definitely solar is moving us forward with respect to clean, affordable, and renewable energy options. Thank you for all of your work on this.
Thank you, Councilwoman Walker. Colleagues, before we go to a vote, I would like to hear from President McGowan. Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Doug McGowan, Memphis Lake Gas and Water, 220 South Main. So we stand in support of the resolution and the ordinance as it is presented. We have been afforded the opportunity to review the changes that were put into place, and we believe they represent a reasonable compromise for our community to allow conversation about where and how we install solar. We have a desire at Memphis Lake Gas and Water, as you've seen in our most recent budget. We have engineering funding to do up to 200 megawatts of solar. We have 5 utility scale solar sites that are under MLGW control, and they're across the county in various zoning districts. We talked with Director Zena about this and wanted to make sure that this did not in any way impinge on our ability to move forward with the plans that we have, and they do not. What these requirements will allow are installations of up to 100 megawatts of utility scale solar at any one particular site. And that is what we contemplate with ours. Ours are smaller than that. They're typically in industrial districts or EMP districts or in other municipalities that have different zoning. So we stand in support of the changes that have been made. It will not impact our ability to move forward with our solar plans and allow the community to help us inform where and how we install those for energy that supports our community.
Thank you, President McGowan. Colleagues, seeing no other members in the queue, Madam Comptroller, would you please prepare the voting screen? They don't live in the city. For item number 5.
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. Warren, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, would you please call the consent agenda? If you live in the city of Memphis, sir. Our rules are if you live in the city of Memphis, you can speak. Otherwise, you're not allowed to speak. Thank you.
Can I just say this, sir? This is wrong. And my suggestion is,
Sir, you need to address your concerns across the street at the county. No, sir.
back in here and said, I got it on record when we voted for it. He brought this to you all and didn't give you all what we voted for. They voted for what we wanted. We compromised.
If you live in the county, you need to address.
He didn't give y'all what we voted for.
Okay, we're done, sir. You need to address your concerns across the street.
On our consent agenda, we have item number 7, an ordinance to appropriate the proceeds of the tax levy on the assessed values on all properties of every species within the city limits of general purposes for the fiscal year July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025, inclusive, together with all collections from privilege licenses, fees, fines, permits, charges, revenue receipts of the city of Memphis for the fiscal year July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025, inclusive to provide the manner in which monies may be transferred from one fund to another and to provide the standard code or designations under which the appropriations are to be administered and accounting control maintained. Up for first reading, ordinance number 5903 is sponsored by the Finance Division. Another ordinance up for first reading from our add-ons is an ordinance amending Chapter 15, Section 15-12 of the Memphis Code of Ordinances regarding solid waste fees for collection and disposal. Up for first reading, ordinance number 5904 is sponsored by the administration, and that is item number 20 on our add-ons. And item number 9 on our consent agenda is a resolution approving supplemental agreement number 1 for Colonial CC Plan Development, part of Area 1, Phase 1. The contract number is CR-5428, and there is a request for same night minutes. Mr. Vice Chair, that concludes our consent agenda items.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. The consent agenda was moved by Carlisle, seconded by Spinoza. Seeing no members in the queue, would you please prepare the voting screen?
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. Warren, yes. Please show Councilmember Cooper Sutton as also voting yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, would you please call the MLGW fiscal consent agenda?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Item number 10 is a resolution approving change number 1 to contract number 12507 Microsoft Support Martin Engineer with Crayon Software Experts LLC to renew the current contract in the funded amount of $174,934.25. The new contract value is $337,976.04. Item number 11 is a resolution approving change number 12 to contract number 10741, laser disc document storage with Jack Henry and Associates Incorporated, a division of Profit Stars, to renew the contract in the funded amount of $119,150.83. The new contract value is $795,988.15. Item number 12 is a resolution approving change number 3 to contract number 12245, well abandonment with Lane Christensen Company, to change and renew the current contract in the funded amount of $531,320. Item number 13 is a resolution approving change number 18 to contract number 10793, professional portfolio software with Advent Software Incorporated, in the funded amount of $36,468.85. This change is to ratify and renew for an additional year. The new contract value is $685,320.36. Item number 14 is a resolution approving Second Amendment to Natural Gas Supply Agreement with Tenergy Corporation for sale and purchase of natural gas. Item number 15 is a resolution awarding contract number 12478, repaving Sheehan Pumping Station drives and parking areas to Barnes & Brower, Inc., in the funded amount of $372,471.45. And our final item is number 16, a resolution approving change number 1 to contract number 12409, trash removal services, to BFI Waste Services LLC, doing business as Republic Services of Memphis, to renew the current contract in the funded amount of $348,232.32. Mr. Vice Chair, that concludes our MLGW fiscal consent items.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Councilman Spinoza, you are recognized. MLGW fiscal consent has been moved by Spinoza, seconded by Swearingen Washington. Seeing no members in the queue, Madam Comptroller, would you please prepare? Thank you very much.
Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Green, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. Warren, yes. Please show Council Member Ford as voting yes. Tanzanite, thank you.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item number 17.
Will take us to our regular agenda. Item number 17 is an ordinance to rename the Pine Hill Clubhouse in honor of Cleophas Hudson Sr. and Charles Hudson as the Cleophas and Charles Hudson Clubhouse in the city of Memphis. Up for third and final reading, ordinance number 5901 is sponsored by council members Swearingen Washington, Ford Sr., Cooper Sutton, Green, and Logan.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Councilman Dr. Warren, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The committee recommended approval, and I'm pleased to so move.
Item was moved by Warren, seconded by Spinoza. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen for item 17.
Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes, and Warren, yes.
That item passes. Councilman Carlisle, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Colleagues, we held item 18 until next meeting in order to set an effective date, but I'd be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity to recognize two things here. There's a group from my alma mater here of recent college graduates that are coming down to kind of engage in what goes on at City Hall, and they're going to leave here in a minute and go meet with Mayor Young and ask a few questions. So I just want to welcome the emerging leaders group that's here. Appreciate you guys being down here. But slightly more importantly, is Glenn Rogers Jr. is here, the son of Glenn Rogers Sr., who will be taking a vote next meeting on renaming Hollywood Street, who mentors these young men at MUS and after the fact. So I just thought I'd take the opportunity to recognize him as well. Just recently inducted into the University of Memphis Football Hall of Fame. Wow. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Councilman Carlisle. Madam Comptroller, would you please call item number 19?
Item number 19 is a resolution to transfer and to amend the FY 2024 Capital Improvement Program CIP budget by transferring and appropriating $154,000 from the Raleigh Civic Center project CC 22101 expenditure type contract construction to architecture and engineering and other costs. District 1, Super District 9. This resolution is sponsored by the administration.
Councilwoman Swearingen Washington, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Chair. The committee met, recommends approval, and I so move.
The item was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Dr. Warren. Seeing no members in the queue, Madam Comptroller, please prepare the voting screen for item 19.
Canale, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. Warren, yes. Please show Councilmember Cooper Sutton also is voting yes on this item.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, would you please call item number 21?
Item number 21 is, it's appointments to the Police Advisory and Review Committee. We have Phoebe McLynn and Reverend William M. Bond III, and there is a request for same night minutes.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Councilwoman Dr. Easter Thomas, you're recognized.
Chair, we heard these items in executive instead of personnel, but they were sent down same night minutes with favorable recommendation, and I will move electronically. Well, Warren, okay, never mind. Cooper Sutton will move electronically. It's moving electronically.
Okay, so this item has been moved and properly seconded by Easter Thompson Spinoza. Madam Comptroller, would you please move it to item 21? We're still showing 19. Now we're on the voting screen. Colleagues, while she works on that, would anyone like to hear from, are they here?
Vice Chair, can we do a roll call item on item 21? I am not able to get it to display on the screen.
Sure. Did we hear from these?
We didn't hear from them, but there wasn't any objection.
Are they
from
here?
Anybody.
We talked about.
I don't think so.
I don't think they're here either.
Colleagues.
Okay.
Would anybody like to hear from these appointments before they are confirmed? No? Okay, Madam Comptroller, roll call vote, please.
Okay, thank you very much. May I please note who moved this item?
It was moved by Easter Thomas, seconded by Spinoza.
Thank you. No objection. Canali?
Yes.
Thank you. Carlisle? Cooper Sutton? Yes. Easter Thomas? Yes. Ford? Yes. Green? Yes. Logan? Spinoza?
Yes.
Swearingen Washington?
Yes.
Eva Walker?
Yes.
Warren?
Aye.
White? Chairman Smiley? Okay,
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, would you please read item 22?
Just when everything's going perfect. Item number 22 is an appointment to the Urban Art Commission Public Art Oversight Committee. C. Rose Smith.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Councilwoman Dr. Easter Thomas, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. This item was heard in executive session, but was sent down with favorable recommendation for same night minutes, and I so move.
Moved by Easter Thomas, seconded by Spinoza. Let's see any members in the queue. Please prepare the voting screen, Madam Comptroller. I'm just going to vote.
Item number 22, Canali?
Yes.
Carlisle? Cooper Sutton? Aye. Easter Thomas? Yes. Ford? Yes. Green? Yes. Logan? Spinoza? Yes. Swearingen Washington?
Yes.
Walker?
Yes.
Warren?
Aye.
White? Yes. Chairman Smiley?
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, I think we are to our same night minutes.
That's correct, Mr.
I believe that
Vice Chair.
Councilwoman Swearingen Washington has those for us.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Canali. The same night minutes items are 8, 9, 21, and 22.
Same night minute items moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Spinoza.
Thank you. We have that for the record. Moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Spinoza.
Madam
And we'll do
Comptroller, please go to a roll call
as
vote.
well. Are you ready for your vote, Mr. Chair?
I'm ready.
Canali?
Yes.
Carlisle? Cooper Sutton? Aye. Easter Thomas? Ford? Green? Yes. Logan?
Thank you.
Spinoza? Yes. Swearingen Washington?
Yes.
Walker?
Yes.
Warren?
Aye.
White?
Yes.
Chairman Smiley?
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, brings us to the end of our agenda,
Yes, sir.
where we will hear from our public comments. Mr. Joseph Kent.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Joe Kent, 5111 Flamingo. Get ready for the Wanda Halbert news cycle during budget. We're going to see a lot of that going on instead of budget coverage of what's really going on in Memphis. It's impossible to do your jobs without current financials from the city, MLGW, MATA, EDGE, and other quasis. So you can't do your job. Now, I can guarantee you the elitists have every one of those financials in front of them right now. Every one of them, and y'all don't. I am convinced that we could come up with better solutions if we had the same information that they did. I know we can, because they are proven idiots. They're proven idiots. Absolute idiots. Now, it does strike me as odd that our business community is represented by the Chamber loves MATA and a botched transit agency. Kind of like they like all the botched workforce developments that they've done. They love this public botching. The Chamber loves it. They're not even concerned about it. Do y'all find that strange? No, I'm serious. They love it. Do you see all the social media love with the MATA stuff going on with them? Mr. Chairman, you got crazy socks? I do too. Hey, isn't that funny? That's so funny. I got crazy socks on. Hey! See ya.
Thank you, Mr. Kent. Adam Soleil.
Hello. I come to say something very simple.
Name and address for the record, please.
Oh, you're not ready? Okay, I got you. Oh, name and address and okay, I got you. 970 Bonnybro Cove, 38018. Am I good?
You can proceed.
Oh, Adam Saleh, 970 Bonnybro Cove, 38018. All right, thank you. All right, perfect. It's very simple what I'd like to say today. I was here a few months ago, but you all see what's going on overseas in my homeland, Palestine. There are endless killings happening every single day. The news will tell you it's a war, but shield the fact that there's a clear killer in this war. Yeah, it's very simple. If we can support a ceasefire resolution, yes, it is symbolic, but we need to put Memphis into an anti-apartheid system, because we've gone from segregation and rampant racism, and now we're still funding that same rampant racism and segregation overseas. So it's complete hypocrisy. If we can stop the genocide and sponsor the ceasefire resolution that we've been sending y'all for months, that would be great. Any of y'all could sponsor it, and we'd really appreciate that. Yes, it is largely symbolic, but hopefully we can move Memphis in a direction where we're an anti-apartheid city, not only in the gentrification of our city, but also in the money that our taxes are going towards. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your comments. Jara Johnay.
Hello, my name is Jara. I'm from zip code 38119. I'm a University of Memphis student. All right. Do you need any more information, or may I begin?
You may begin.
All right. Good afternoon, councilmen and women. I want you all to imagine if everyone in the entire city of Memphis and adjacent areas such as Germantown, Collierville, and Cordova filled this entire room, and there was no way to get out. There was no access to food, water, restrooms, or healthcare, and this happening for months. That doesn't even include being under constant bombardment and constantly harassed by and terrorized by occupational forces. That probably makes you uncomfortable, right? This is what has been happening for the past 214 days and 75 years to the Palestinian people. Millions of people forcefully displaced from their homes. Over 44,000 people murdered, including 15,700 children. Almost 500 healthcare workers, and at least 137 journalists. You may be wondering, what does this have to do with you all in the city of Memphis? Well, we are contributing to allowing these atrocities to continue to happen with our tax dollars. Each day that continues that you all do not call for a permanent ceasefire just shows complicity towards these horrors. I'm sure on your way here, you might have passed a fellow Memphian who has nowhere to go. They're homeless, they have no sense of security. You have probably passed a dilapidated neighborhood that has no access to near grocery stores. We've seen that there's areas with many gas stations and nowhere to make their place look nice. Many of the people in Memphis actually lack access to proper health care and have to do things such as ration medications like insulin because they can't afford it. If we are supporting the permanent ceasefire resolution, we can use our money to help heal our city instead of hurting others. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Gazelle Salim.
Hello, hello. I'm from District 9, zip code 38111. My name is Gazelle Salim. I'm here today to speak on behalf.
Address?
38119, District 9.
No, not the zip code. What's your address?
What's my zip code? I haven't memorized it. I just thought I had to say my zip code of my district.
No. Name and address for the record.
Yeah. I'll look her up.
You may proceed.
Okay. My name is Gazelle Saline. I'm here today to speak on behalf of my people. Me and my family came here to this country thinking that there is democracy. We thought that there would be justice and liberation for all people, but I've been here for 10 years and I don't see it. As a little girl, I believed that the USA was a country that helped other countries. I thought the country and its leaders were heroes, but now I know the truth about the one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It is a country that only brings justice in a place where they can gain power and money. I might only be 15 years old, but I have broken out of the propaganda that this country fed to me. I know for a fact that this country has no democracy, because if it did, then police officers wouldn't be trying to stop students from protesting for Palestine. And I know if this country had democracy, then you would help us pass a ceasefire resolution, because about 67% of Americans are in support of a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. So where is our democracy? Where is our freedom? Where is our representation? Are you going to allow this genocide to keep going when over half Americans are telling you to make it stop? You have to have some shame in yourself. While you are sitting around enjoying your days, babies are being killed before they even turn 1 year old. Mothers are being separated from their kids. Miss Logan, I know you have 5 kids and you have grandchildren. How would you feel if you lost them under the rubble due to an Israeli airstrike? And what about Mr. Cannell? You have 2 children. How would you feel if Israeli soldiers came and took them away from you? And Miss Green, Miss Green, how would you feel if you were separated from your husband and your 3 children? Try to put yourself in the shoes of Palestinians, even though most of them might not have shoes to wear or food to eat. So will you take action and represent us? Or will you prove to us that this country really has no democracy?
Thank you very much for your comments. Yusuf Salim.
Hello. My name is Yusuf Salim, and I live in Gaza.
I need the address, please.
Oh, District 9, 38111.
You have a street address?
I don't remember. I haven't memorized it.
Okay, going forward, if you don't have a street address, I'm not going to allow you to speak. But young man, I'm going to allow you to go ahead.
Okay. My name is Yusuf Salim. I am 12 years old, and I am here to speak on the behalf of the babies in Gaza who can't even speak yet and don't get a chance to. I know I am still a child, but seeing what's happening in Gaza, I just can't stand still. I am here to say, please sponsor the ceasefire resolution for the city of Memphis. We want a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. We want our representatives to take action. I can't vote because I'm not 18, but even I can see that we can all do something to stop this genocide. So will you be smarter than a 6th grade, or will you stand aside and watch this genocide? That's all.
Thank you, young man, for your comments. It takes a lot of courage for a 6th grader to come down here and speak to us. Appreciate that. Dr. Nabil Bayakli.
Good evening and salam. I will start actually with Shakespeare.
Dr. Bayakli, would you please give us your name
My
and
name
address?
is Nabil, Nabil, last name Bayakli, Bayakly. My address is 8835 Dovland Drive, Cordova, Tennessee, 38101.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Jerry's living here district. So I would like to start with Shakespeare, and he did say that in the life of human, there will be a tide at the time of a flood. If taken, it will lead to a fortune. Omitted, meaning that you don't take it, then it will lead to a disaster. So we're having now a tide that's going on, and it's actually ended up to be a tsunami. And whatever was said before regarding what's going on all over the United States. We started this actually 2 months ago when we came here before Ramadan, and we came here through Ramadan, and now 1 month after Ramadan, and we're still coming. And all we're asking is that just get on the bus. You know, go with the flow. Everybody is now understanding what's going on. More than 60% of the United States now is supporting a ceasefire. I know everybody's calling it a war. It's not a war. It's ethnic cleansing. It's a genocide. Right now they're saying war and Rafah. It's not war. Jerry is not war. It's ethnic cleansing. They're going into where there are 2 million people, and they're going to bomb them with 2,000-pound bombs. And then they're going to say that this is collateral damage. And this is all our money. It's our tax dollars. And as you have seen, we need this money here. This money needs to stay here. We need the infrastructure here. We need the healthcare here. We need the education here. Bernie Sanders, he said that everybody is using the term anti-Semite. It's Bernie Sanders, he's a Jew. And he said it's not anti-Semitic to say what's going on in Gaza now is a genocide. There's in the war and the life and the history of here, this country, you always side with the oppressed. When you watch Avatar, you want the oppressed. When you watch The Hunger Games, you routed for the oppressed. Star Wars, you routed for the oppressed. All the time you route for the oppressed. Right now the Palestinians are the oppressed. Why we don't route for them? We route for them only in Hollywood. But outside Hollywood, we don't care for them. So I urge this City Hall, I urge the representative here to just sponsor a ceasefire. And as I end up with John Lennon, all what I'm saying is give peace a chance.
Thank you, Dr. Bayakli. Amber Sherman.
Hey, my name is Amber Sherman. My address is 6070 North Grove Cove, Memphis, Tennessee, 31115. I really just wanted to speak today to call out the cowardice of the City Council, the fact that y'all are so disrespectful to the constituents that keep coming here and won't even bring up a ceasefire resolution to allow it to even be heard. When we talk about democracy, you won't even allow that process to play out by actually just sponsoring it. I know they've contacted Jerry several times and asked to have the resolution be sponsored by them, but all these council members that are here could hear the resolution and are refusing to, as we're watching people be murdered every day. As Rafah is being invaded right now, where over 600,000 children are sheltering with no access to healthy foods, water. We're literally watching that happen in real time. I don't know what kind of human beings you are where you can ignore the actual cruelty of the genocide occurring in Palestine, but I can't. I can't ignore children being murdered and blown up in pieces. I think that it's symbolic, but also it shows that you as a body care. Because we also as a body, as the police department, sends people over to Israel through the Gilly program that was started in Atlanta to learn tactics from the IDF. We continue to do that still. That program has not ceased to exist. And some of those same tactics are used by the gang unit and the other units through the police department. They use those tactics like putting guns straight to people's heads and putting knees in their neck. And we haven't stopped that practice. So I think the least that this body could do, the simplest thing you could do, is for someone to have some courage, someone to be an adult and do the right thing and sponsor the resolution to allow it to at least be heard so that people in Memphis can come and speak about whether or not they want it to pass or not. You're not even allowing that process to play out. And that's the extreme, disgusting cowardice that really pisses me off. Do the right thing and at least sponsor the resolution so that it can be heard.
Thank you, Ms. Sherman. Chantal Johnson.
Hi, my name is Chantel Johnson. My address is 3063 Cypress Lake Drive, Memphis, Tennessee, 38119. Ladies and gentlemen of the council, I come before you today to shed light on a matter that transcends borders and demands our collective attention, the plight of the Palestinian people. As we deliberate on local issues, it is crucial to recognize the interconnectedness of global struggles and impact that they have on our community, including right here in Memphis. The Palestinian people have endured decades of hardship in living under occupation, facing displacement, and enduring countless human rights violations, even as we speak right now. Their struggle for freedom, justice, and self-determination resonate with the principle of equality and dignity that we uphold in our community. By speaking up for the rights of the Palestinian people, we stand in solidarity with those who seek a future free from oppression and injustice. Moreover, the relationship between Memphis and Palestine runs deeper than we may realize. Just as our city grapples with issues of poverty and violence, so too the people of Palestine face similar challenges exacerbated by the conflict and occupation. By recognizing these perils, we can forge connections and empathy and understanding that transcend geographical boundaries. As leaders, it is our duty as humans to use our platform to amplify the voice of the marginalized and advocate for meaningful changes. By speaking out against injustice in Palestine, we affirm our commitment to universal human rights and the pursuit of peace and equality for all. In conclusion, let us remember that the struggle for justice knows no boundary. By standing in solidarity with Palestine, we will not only honor their resilience and perseverance, but also reaffirm our shared humanity and commitment to a better world. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson, for your comments. Sammy Kadir. All right, and the last comment card is from Natasha, but I'm going to need a last name, Natasha, before I allow you to speak. Okay, if you please come to the podium. We get her to write her last name on that card.
Hi, my name is Natasha Williamson McGlasson Momtaz.
Address?
I live at 415 State Street on the University of Memphis campus.
Thank you. You may proceed.
All right. So I'm a student at the University of Memphis, and I just wanted to tell you a story. I have a friend named Fadwa, who's a few years older than me at age 30. She is a beautiful 3-year-old girl named Hala with the most stunning curly hair and the cutest smile. Fadwa studied French and English literature, and like me, is an avid reader. Fadwa and her husband live in a little house in a busy area with a small garden out in the back. He built it himself with his own hands. Then that all changed in the blink of an eye. There was nothing left. Fadwa's beautiful home and garden never got the chance to bloom because it was destroyed by the occupying Israeli Defense Forces. Since then, I have dedicated all of my time to trying to ensure that nobody anywhere is forced to live like this and make sure that babies like Hala get to celebrate each birthday. Hala turned 3 yesterday, and bombs were her candles. Fadwa says, my daughter has trauma from the sound of civilian airplanes because she was in a war where she couldn't differentiate between the sound of civilian planes and military aircraft. We lived in fear and we didn't have a human life. We suffered from lack of food, clean water, and medical care. I will keep trying for Hala every day, but a bill is being passed, Bill H.R. 6090, that takes away my constitutionally protected right as a student and U.S. citizen to speak out. The bill states that targeting of a state of Israel, which is conceived as a Jewish collective, is anti-Semitic. The idea that Israel is a Jewish collective implies that every single Jewish person is in support of Israel, which is in and of itself an anti-Semitic act. This bill threatens to remove organizations that speak out from campus, or the university will face funding cuts. These organizations have given me and so many of the people that I love comfort and peace in a time where it is bitterly scarce. Please continue to be my microphone and the microphone for all of your constituents. We are asking you only to sponsor the ceasefire resolution for the city of Memphis and speak out about Bill H.R. 6090. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Colleagues, this brings us to the end of our meeting agenda. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Spinoza, seconded by